Birdie Brand's all-natural bug deterrent is the best in the game of golf. It keeps the bugs away while giving you a bit of focus for those tight moments as the match comes to a close. Tour tested, tour approved. The 1-ounce bottle fits in any golf bag or travel case. When the match is on the line, your focus and comfort are things you don't want to be thinking about. Use Birdie Brands to make sure that doesn't happen. Birdie Brands, game on, bugs gone. Get yours at birdiebrands.com today.
My side of the bag, Drew Hinesley. He's Scotty Worldwide, coming to us from Frisco, Texas, the Women's PGA Championship presented by KPMG. Scotty, how you doing in Texas?
Oh, things are good. It's hot as balls out here. Sweating like crazy, but it's not about me today. It's about what someone did last week and an amazing guest that we have that I'll let you introduce because I know you know him better than I.
One of my closest friends, I consider him a dear friend. Caddy for JJ Spawn, Mr. Mark Carens, winner of the U.S. Open at Oakmont.
Let's go!
Ooh.
Major champion on my side of the bag.
Wait, can you say it again? Because I think I'm
Winner
I
of the
don't
2025
anyway.
U.S. Open at Oakmont Country Club, Mark Carens.
The toughest golf course in the world. Like every tee shot, I'm like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was the craziest thing ever. But luckily, I got to enjoy it with
Yes.
Drew, so he like made it easy. So,
Well, do you know how many bogeys you made at Oakmont?
we didn't make any the first day. So
You
I
made
mean, hello,
13.
what?
Do you know how many? 13.
13? 13 in 3
13 in
days?
3 days, and 2
Dang!
of the days I was with you, you made 11 of them when I was walking beside you. And on about the
So do
fifth
you,
hole on Sunday, I was like, Mark and JJ never want to see me and Smiley ever again, ever.
do you know how many double bogeys he made that week?
Zero.
You're right. So that's the key for the U.S. Open. But
All right.
anyways, but yeah.
So, Mark, you're a
So
really humble guy, and you do not like taking all the credit, but this is a show made by caddies for caddies. And so, just for a minute, I'm going to ask you to just put all that aside and hear what I got to say. Here are the caddies who I think we all on this show and everybody that watches respects as some of the best to ever do it. These are the guys who have never won a U.S. Open, a small sampling, but guys that we highly, highly respect. Bones, who gave you the flag after you won.
dude, he's the greatest. I literally wouldn't have got the flag. Like I would have never. And Bones brought it to me, and that's the first of all, Bones is the one of the top 3 greatest caddies ever. So like, I'm not even saying like, but to have him give me the flag, that was like so special. But anyways, go
The
ahead. Sorry.
hometown guy this week in Hartford, Connecticut, Joe LaCava, has never helped anybody win a U.S. Open. Your very, very close friend and the guy you're going to walk with tomorrow in the feature pairing, Ted Scott, has never helped anybody win a U.S. Open. Tony Navarro, no U.S. Open. Angelo.
Tony Navarro texted me, and like when those guys like, first of all, I'm just saying like that doesn't even the I understand what you're saying, but like the caddies that like those are the greatest caddies ever. So like it's not. I just got lucky, so I don't even like. I know there's like a lot of caddies that haven't won the U.S. Open, but like that's not. I just got so lucky, and my dad was up in the sky. Like he helped me win the U.S. Open, so it wasn't. You know,
All
I
right,
get what you're
so
saying, but
for the
sorry to
folks
cut
that
you off.
don't know, unfortunately, your dad passed away on Father's Day of 2024, and that was a very difficult time for you
Yeah, Sunday.
on U.S. Open Sunday, and then a year later, you think Dad had a pretty integral part in what happened down on the 72nd hole.
Well, I knew he would have an integral. Like my dad loved golf more than anything. He took me to Scotland, Ireland. Like he was. I knew. he was going to be there. Like it wasn't even anything. And then we bogey the first hole. And then number 2, he hits a great shot down the fairway. I'm like, all right. And then he hits a great second shot and hits the flag stick. I did see it, but anyways, but so it goes back off the green. Then the third hole, he flares it, but it's in the first cut. I'm like, all right, thanks, Ed. Short bogey. I'm like, are you drinking a beer up there? Like, are you gonna help me out today? Like, what are we doing here? So it was,
And then on the
but
seventh,
I knew he was there the whole day. Like it wasn't it,
and so on the 72nd hole,
but
Victor
yeah,
hitting it a foot to the left of where JJ hit it, and just gave you line, gave you speed, gave you everything you needed to know. And as they
yeah,
say, when you show a great
that was my
player a
dad.
line,
Like
they
being
have
like,
a
so.
chance.
Oh yeah, me and JJ both said thanks, Ed. Like like that's even JJ. Like in the rough on 14, um, we're walking up there and it's like, and then it's like, I can see the ball, and it's like, thanks, Ed. Like, that's what he said. So it was pretty
Mark,
awesome.
you've gotten to do something that, as Drew mentioned, so many great caddies have never got to do, and that's hold the U.S. Open flag. And you've had somewhat of a media tour the last few days. Just take us to your world. What have the last 3.5 days been like? You're on TV shows, you're hanging with JJ, you're talking to Carson Daly. What's the last couple of days been like?
Well, Carson Daly's the best. He was because he loves golf, and he was like, he gave me his number. I was like, oh my god, he's like, let's tee it up, like I was like, only if you like to drink beer, anyways. But yeah, and he's like, yeah, and so he he was so nice, and so they're like, yeah, we might get you on the show or whatever. So they like gave me a microphone, whatever, and then they called me out, and then so I don't know how. I guess I went out there because I don't remember because I was like so nervous. And then I guess I tried to talk like a little bit. And then Carson's like, yeah, this guy can't talk. I don't, so I'll just talk for him. And then, the next segment, they're like, all right, let's just leave him out there. Maybe he can say something. And they went back to me and I was just like, and I froze up I couldn't, I was just like, I literally couldn't feel like I couldn't
Awesome.
even talk. So besides that, it was really fun and everyone was so nice. It was
Have we
awesome.
had any beverages out of the U.S. Open trophy, and if so, what?
Oh, of course. Um, just beer, but like, yeah, I mean, I guess I wanted to like chug the whole thing with all the beers, but JJ wouldn't let me. He's like, no, we have to, and I was like, all right. So it was awesome. Like, and I probably couldn't have done it because obviously I can't chug
Oh,
8 beers
I think
down in one
I
day,
think
but
you could, Mark Carens.
I wanted
I
to
think you
try it,
could.
but
My money's on
I
the
didn't do
over.
it.
I think you could do it.
I,
I don't think
I
so.
know
So
for a
I
fact
wanted
that
to try it, but I was happy that he's like, no, don't
I
do it. And
know
I
for
was
a
like, all
fact that
right.
you can knock
So
that down because I've seen you do it. But all right, well, here's the list of guys that
mhm.
you joined. Caddies with a U.S. Open win. We're going to start with Bruce Edwards, the guy who really made it a profession for us today. Right, he was the trailblazer. Guys like that. We got Steve Williams, Billy Foster, Fluff, Adam Hayes, Fooch, and the guy you spent the first 2 rounds with, Paul Tesori. Pretty cool to spend a couple of days with him and then join his fraternity of U.S. Open champions. So, what does it feel like to know that you're in that group with those guys?
Ooh, that's well, all those guys are like legends. Like it's funny because Fooch, I'm just like legend, like where, and then like Paul Story, he's like we play golf all the time in Jacksonville, like, and so he's like I just call him the greatest caddy ever. But like and then every one of those guys is like it's just well to be to do what those guys did, like that's amazing. That's like the greatest thing. I I have no words for that.
Well, and winning the U.S. Open gets you a pretty cool tee time at the Open Championship at Portrush. It's going to be Rory, Scotty, and JJ. So you and Ted, Scott, and
Oh,
Harry
I've already said
walking together the first 2 days at Portrush.
Oh, I've already told you. Like when we won, because when we were flying to New York, I already like I was like, this is like so. I already knew like that was one of the first things that I told JJ. Like I was like, this is gonna be this greatest. But yeah, so I'm so excited for that. That's like the.
Not
But
only
yeah,
that, Mark, you move up to number 3 in the Ryder Cup standings. What's
Ooh.
it going to mean to wear that red, white, and blue at Bethpage?
okay. First of all, like the roar on 18 when he made that putt was the loudest roar I've ever heard. And I even yelled like I like JJ's heard me yell, and it was the greatest moment that I've ever experienced or seen or anything. But at Bethpage, like those roars, that's how it's going to
Yes.
be the whole time. So it's so like every time that we talk about the Ryder Cup now, like the hair, like I get chills because that's going to be the greatest thing that I've ever experienced, like as a caddy. And I already talked to guys that are on the team and stuff, and it's I've been caddying for 24 years, and that's going to be the greatest thing ever. Like I can't wait, and it's gonna like I like go to bed at night thinking about that. Like that's all.
All right,
So it's going to
all
be
right,
the
so let's
greatest
go
thing ever.
back to the U.S. Open at Oakmont, specifically Sunday. It was JJ and Victor Hovland, you and Shea Knight, the final 18 holes. And I was with you with Smiley Kaufman working for the broadcast. And
Hey, who's the greatest like caddy that
Shea
gives you the
Knight is the
signals?
greatest. It's not even close. He's so thoughtful. He's
Whoa,
in the game with me, helping me, help Smiley. Do you know who the worst guy is giving me clubs and helping me?
Harry.
Mark
Harry.
Carens is the worst that I've
What?
ever worked
Oh
with.
my god! Is
What
There's
this
a
do you
guy for
couple.
real?
say?
I went back and watched the replay yesterday. Okay, and there's a couple of situations where I can see Smiley in the corner of the screen. JJ's getting ready to hit, and Smiley's got his arms up, like, "What are we hitting?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because Mark doesn't communicate with me. Mark's got his head down. Mark is mumbling, staring at the ground. He's still going through the shot in his head as JJ's over the ball. And there's so many times I can't even count how many times I am bent over at my knees trying to get his attention in his eyes, but he is just locked in on the
I
rough at
talked to
Oakmont,
No,
not looking up at me at all,
I don't
that's
and
think
I
not
that's
true.
got
true either.
nothing. So
I don't think that's true.
we're gonna do drills because I'm gonna be
I t-
with you.
I talked to JJ through every single shot. Like, well, I'm talking to him while he's hitting his shot. So obviously, the last thing I'm gonna do is be like, and then once I'm done talking to JJ, then I look up. And I did good because he understood. Like now he's across from me, so he's like, and I'm like, okay. But when he's back there, like I don't like. I'm talking to JJ when he hits his shot, like through the whole and then
I,
I like
I
whatever
did
people are like,
learn.
why is this guy kneeling down, but like
I did
whatever,
learn
but
with
so
Mark,
and
Scotty,
then
that if I do if I
so every time in the last round if he was right there I was like after I got done I'm like hey there's my
Yeah,
guy
I would
makes
get
7 iron
right
well
behind. I like to be face on.
so it was his
I
yeah,
fault, it
like to be
wasn't my
face
fault.
on to the
Like
players.
he's if
yeah.
he's over there like I'm gonna like I'm gonna care about like I'm talking to JJ and then I'm like gonna like
So,
look up to be like hey
so I
where's
got to pause.
like
I
so
got to pause. So
he
Drew
learned
showed
so
me a video of him when you guys were in the rough. What hole was that, Drew?
I don't even know what.
Okay, Drew is so close to what's
Oh,
going on.
number 12 when they got up and
Number
down for
12.
birdie, which
Number
started the whole
12. And
charge.
I said, Drew, I said, if that was me and you were that close to me and my player, I would say, hey, how about some space, please? Because you're so close and in the action that, hey, we need a minute to figure out the number, what we're going to land it. I'll tell you what we're going to do, but you're too close.
So I told Scotty if he ever says that to me, I'm kicking his bag over. I'm kicking the
yes
bag over.
you're right. Hey
Hey,
Scotty, I
he's
agree
too
with you.
close.
I mean I'm
You got to give us
yeah
some space. We're trying to work
like
here.
who is this guy man, I'm
Come
trying
on.
to win a US Open bro, like
Come
what is this
on.
so
guy doing?
all right. So typically,
We'll give you the club in a
so
minute.
So typically I like to be behind the caddy, face on the player, so the player never sees me. But in that case with Mark, he always is staring at JJ. So I have to get behind JJ, which is the most uncomfortable place for me to be in the world. And if I move at all in his periphery, I'm going to throw this guy off trying to win a US Open. So I was going,
Dude, if you moved when my guy was hitting, I would knock you out. Like I would. Like that's
I
like
would
that's
too.
the,
anyways, but
That's
you
and
why
that's
didn't
the
do it,
thing.
so it's fine.
how about
I would. Like,
mistakes?
really? You just cost my guy the
Exactly.
US Open? I'd be like,
You
what
give
is this
Smiley
guy
Kaufman
doing?
or some
Like,
information. Who cares?
So,
yeah, I mean,
so
what? Like, what
finally,
is this guy doing?
I
I'm trying
finally
to
figured out where to place myself where Mark could see me, and I did get a little bit of information to Smiley, but it was like going to the dentist at times. I was like, oh my gosh, Mark, just help me out. And so I would have to get close to
Well,
get a club and then bail out like I did on 12. But again, that was probably the closest I ever got. And
you
they got up and down for birdie, so maybe I'm a rabbit's foot. You
you
never know.
already told me Harry Diamond was bad at Pinehurst of giving you signals. So
No, Harry was
What do you
good.
mean you
No,
were?
Harry's very good actually. Harry's good. There's other European Ryder Cup guys that are not good. Harry's actually the best.
now,
No, Harry's very
Harry's the
good.
man.
But
I
we're
love Harry.
Mark. Here's
I
what we're
love
gonna
Harry.
do. I'm gonna come to the Ryder Cup early, like on Monday, and we're gonna spend 3 days, maybe three and a half, working on you giving clubs to me before JJ hits his shot. And I'll tell you what, you're gonna be out with Ted Scott tomorrow. Ted also could use a little practice because working for Bubba for 15 years, he never had to do it. So you guys might be the two rustiest guys out there at showing clubs. And Ted jokes about it, but he's really, really good at it. He's gotten good because he's with Scotty and every shot's on TV. And now you're the US Open caddy. Every one of your shots is going to be on TV. And Greg Parker is going to be with you tomorrow with CBS. And he's going to be in all black, just like me. He doesn't look as good as I do, but he's going to be out there just like me. So, so,
Damn. What's up? Why
so
does you got to throw that
give
stuff in
Parker
there,
some
Scotty?
give
I
Parker some
mean,
clubs so he can help Colt or Dottie with the broadcast. That they would love you for that.
I think
okay.
Mark's going to be great.
Well,
All right, Mark. So let's go back
yeah.
to that run.
Dude, why are you wearing
I was
that
going to
Puma
say,
shirt?
you picked an interesting shirt tonight.
Mark, and JJ are Puma guys.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
trying to rep the brand. Mark, and hey,
So
let's go back to
you
Sunday, Mark.
you want to spot you guys want a
That would be
sponsorship for
awesome.
this?
You and the guy,
You've got plenty of cash, trust me.
Okay.
All
Scott, do you wear
I could wear.
what
I
do you
look great
wear?
in Puma.
right.
What so do you have a
I
on tour
just wear
like for
level
your
wear,
girls
but
like
because they send me stuff. But I would look great in Puma, right?
100%? Do you
100%.
want to wear Puma?
Well, Puma, I look good
All
in
right. Well,
schmedium.
text
I
me
mean,
tomorrow and
Puma
I'll
makes good
text you.
schmedium for me, so I really like it.
Come on.
If you
Hold on.
Puma
We're
Puma
negotiating
is
a
the
deal
best.
live. We're
I'm just
negotiating
saying
a
like
live podcast deal.
well, forget it because I love level wear tour, but I'm saying because my buddies like
And like,
I'm just
Mark,
saying I wear Puma and I
Mark,
love it. So
let's just talk about facts. I mean, not too many people look like me out there or look as good as me out there. So I mean, stand out.
that's true, man. You're
Well,
pretty
and
jacked, so
speaking of Puma,
you know. I mean, and you should be like, hey, well, should I wear this or should I wear this? And be like, all right,
What's up,
what do you
Lexi?
want? You
What's up,
know, like
Lexi? Puma too.
what's
all
up?
right.
Yeah,
Speaking of Puma,
exactly. So
Mark comes out to start the final round wearing a green and pink Puma shirt. That is not the shirt that's on him on the 18th green. What happened?
Ooh,
okay, you want to know what happened? So first of all, I was soaked, right?
Yeah, tell me about it.
So JJ
Here's my shoes
JJ
from
like
Sunday.
wore
There's
it
my
was
shoes.
yeah. I mean, why do you still have them? Why don't you
throw
just
those
throw them in the
away.
garbage? Like those things gotta stink. So like, why would you even have those?
Here's
Why
the
do you even have
watch I
them in
was
your
wearing,
room?
and it still got fog on it from moisture. It's been 4 days.
weirdest thing.
Why does he still have his shoes? I would have just thrown them in the
I'm not
trash can,
sponsored
man.
by
Like,
Puma like you are. I have to keep
I'm not
my
rich
stuff.
like you.
So, all right, let's go to your
anyways,
wardrobe
so
change on Sunday. Tell me about your wardrobe change.
So this is kind of funny. So I Okay, so when I went into the caddy thing, like we got done and they have beers for us and stuff, and they have this great beer, Helltown. It's
Yep.
from Pittsburgh. And so whatever, I stayed, had a couple beers and stuff. But fortunately, we were in the last group on Saturday and Sunday. So on Saturday, we went back there, me and JJ's coach, and so we had a couple beers, whatever. And so on Sunday morning, the girls because I kind of stayed out there a lot of times and stuff, so they actually gave me a shirt and it said Helltown on it. And so I was like, oh my God, like, how nice is that? Like, I was like, oh my God, like that, like, that's the nicest thing. Like, these
Yeah.
girls gave me the shirt. So I was like, so I take the shirt and I'm like, I'm going to put it in my bag, for good luck and stuff. And, so anyways, we get done. It's pouring down rain and stuff. And it was funny because they're like, are you a large or a medium large? And I was like, I'm a medium, and they're like, oh, I'll send it back to you. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'll take it. Like, so, because I was like, thank you so much. But anyways, so we go back. So obviously my shirt's soaking wet. Like you said, white and pink. And I wore these white shirts and this white and pink shirt, like some other tournament, and then we played like crap. So I was like, should I wear this? But I was like, no, but I wore it. And then we're five over through six. I'm like, and I'm thinking, like, why did I wear this outfit? Like,
Yeah.
I'm never wearing this again. Anyways, so we walk up, my shirt's soaking wet. So we're talking, whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, I have this Helltown shirt, but it has a Nike swoosh like on it. So I take it off and it's dry. But I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this big Nike thing here. And I literally was like, when I hugged JJ, there's gonna be like a Nike, you know what I mean? And Puma's the greatest. So I was like, this is a nice warm shirt and stuff. But I was like, but so, but so the shirt so I actually gave JJ a shirt because when he got here, he wore my shirt, but it's sitting in the bottom of his locker, and he wore it for the whole day on Monday, like for 18 holes. And I'm like, should I wear this or should I wear this stank ass shirt that JJ just? And I was like, but it's Puma, and I was like, I can't wear this because it had this big, and I was like. So I went into the locker room, sprayed it down with like right guard, and I'm like, oh my God. But it was dry. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I wore that shirt that he wore on Monday to win. But now that's my favorite shirt. So of course I'll be wearing it
Love it.
on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Do you have a special affinity or an attachment to a Srixon umbrella? Because in the greatest moment of your life, JJ throws his putter, but you did not let go of that Srixon umbrella. What
Swing it in
was
the
up
rain.
with that?
I don't know either. And to tell you the truth, like I've seen pictures of all the stuff, but I've never seen like the video of like what I did. But yeah, it's like he throws his putter. Why wouldn't I throw it? Like, why am I holding on to this thing? Like, it was, I don't know. It was, but I've never
Uh,
heard a roar that loud. And I literally like yelled you were there. I don't know.
so
Have you
I
ever
was
heard it
actually,
roar that
because of
loud?
where you guys were coming from, I was off to the right side of the green. I was maybe 40 feet from the hole. I was closer to the ball going in the hole than you and JJ were. And
Yeah.
I
Oh,
went
100%. Like,
like football game, Georgia wins the national championship, bananas when that ball went in. I was like worm's eye view with the hole, and it hits the flag and goes in. And just like you guys, I went crazy. I actually texted you Saturday night and said, if you guys win, I'm tackling you on
Yep.
18 green. Okay.
I know you did. I was
Well,
waiting for you. I was like, oh shit, here he comes running
Victor
out here.
still
So
had a
I was
par
like,
putt, and I fought every instinct in my body to run clear across that green and take you out. When you were going down to the bunker to get that putter, I was about to make a beeline for you. I knew I would have lost my job, but there was a part of me that didn't care. But I was like, and I mean, there's actually a video on X of me. I'm out on the edge of the green, and then I turn my back to you and walk away like I can't do it. I can't do it. But I found you. I knew the cameras would kind of follow JJ up the steps with his family. And as soon as I knew the cameras were off, I came and greeted you. How many ribs did I break when I picked you up and hugged you?
Greeted you. My back still hurts from that. What are you talking about? I think you picked me up and slammed me like 6 times. I'm like, oh, get off, man. Like, so it was, and when he threw his putter, I don't even remember I remember like going to the rough, and then they were like, it's in the bunker, and so his his putter was in the bunker, but his putter was like just touching the sand and stuff. But so like I didn't like now I kind of remember like grabbing it and stuff. But so I took it, but I didn't rake the bunker. Like I just you know what I mean? Like I didn't like I should have like raked like think if those guys behind him like hit into his putter like and it's like, what's this right here? But
The
so
front was unraked when they
but
hit on
so
18.
the exact yeah, like it wasn't. And so then on then when we get done, he's like, "Did you get my putter?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I threw," and I was like, "I don't know." Like, and so I had to go check to see if because I don't
Yeah.
remember like getting his putter.
Yeah.
Like it was so
So
it was
First
that
major win
was
for Lab putters, by the way.
I know 100%. Like it's hello, like that's
That's
yeah.
huge.
talk about the 17th hole and just how odd that was. A pretty loud roar too.
Oh, well, yeah. That was like okay, so 17 right at the pin, like couldn't hit a better shot. Goes up. I'm just like, okay, that's pretty good. And then you hear it, you know, like, and then you hear the, and it's like, okay, it's on the green. You know what I mean? Like, so it's greatest tee shot ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, but people ask me, which is a better tee shot, that or 18? And I'm like, I don't like, I don't know. Like, because 18 now he has a 1 shot lead. And if you miss the fairway to the right, the, the stroke average was
Yeah.
over 5. You know what I mean? So if he misses to the right, like, I'm just, facts, man. Like, it's not. And he got up and hit like a better shot than he did on 17, which is hard to do, obviously. Like, so I don't know which is better. Like those 2 tee shots were like obviously that win you the US Open, but I mean,
Mark,
unbelievable. I was just like,
come on.
thank you, Ed.
Come on.
Like,
Come.
gosh, like, but it was awesome.
JJ,
It was pretty cool. You know, Scotty, you just had that, so
trying
you
to
know
be
what I'm
like you,
talking
buddy.
about. Like, no, I'm trying to be like you. You did it
JJ
before me.
talked about the experience at the Players Championship and how he leaned on that and how that helped him, get the job done on Sunday. Did that help you? Obviously you've been successful. You already have a flag at the Players Championship, but I don't think it's quite like winning the US Open. So did you, lean on your experience at the Players Championship and kind of keep you calm and cool in that moment on Sunday?
Well, 100%. Like it's not like, but it totally because we had the rain delay at the players, so and he came back and he was like the best player out of that, you know, Rory got off to a good start, but JJ like finished it off. Like so he we came back from the players and we had a 60-yard bunker shot with water in
Yeah.
the you know what I mean? Like, hello, like yeah, give me a tougher, so and so 100% we both leaned on that. Like it's not so yeah, 100%.
Well, there were a couple of times out at Oakmont. I think on the 6th hole on Friday, I felt like JJ pulled out the 8 iron and the 9 iron, and I looked at Smiley and I said, "Same 2 clubs he had on the tee on 17 at Sawgrass in the playoff." On number
Wait, what
6, the
hole?
par 3, I feel like he grabbed like an 8 and a 9 iron. and maybe it was in a fairway, but I felt like I was like, this is the same situation they had at the Players on 17 when he had these two clubs. He was kind of in between. He was on the 8, Mark was on the 9.
He did no the Players. He didn't have two clubs. He
You
had the
had the
8 iron,
9.
but I pulled the 9
Yes.
iron out. So I like, and that's my fault. Like because the wind, I'm going on like the 35, like so. But I had the 9 in my hand, and I didn't give him like we were playing like a 130 shot with his whatever. Well, that's what we were playing 138 iron because of the wind, because of all the TrackMan stuff that we did. And but I had the 9 in my hand, and so and JJ hit like the greatest shot ever, and where'd it go? Like, beep, like so. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like that's totally like my fault. Like so,
So, did you
but
have any of those conversations at the U.S. Open and maybe try to convince him a little harder because the 9 iron didn't get in his hand at 17 at Sawgrass? Were you a little bit maybe, hey, this is what we need to hit here? Did you have more confidence at the U.S. Open after what happened at the Players?
yeah, I told you on number 6, I was like, he wanted to hit the 5, and I was like, no, man, hit the 6, and then I messed up again. So
Hey,
good job, man. Best
Well, I
caddy
mean, the
ever,
guy
bro.
ends up winning the U.S. Open, and that ball did get held up pretty good by the wind. And again, had he hit the 5 like he hit the 8 at Players, maybe it bounces over the green, and that's not any more fun than that bunker. So you never know. But you won the U.S. Open, birdies on 12, 14. And 14, you did have a lie in the rough. You said it was a good lie. And he pulled out
No, that's
he
Ed.
pulls
That's
out a
Ed right
pitching
there.
wedge. You said, I'm thinking about a 50 because it was 102 front. It was 117 covering the right bunker. And you thought a 50 could cover that. And I heard you say, I want you to hit something hard. And he was like, no, I'm going to hit a pitching wedge. And he hit a pitching wedge right to the middle of the green and then pours it in from what, 25, 30 feet. I mean, that was a huge putt. That actually gave you the outright lead for the first time on the back 9. Did you realize that at the time?
Yeah. Um.
It
Did
did.
it give us the
That
lead on
Yeah,
that?
you were
Jose?
one back of Sam on the 13th green. Sam bogeys
yep,
12.
yep.
So now as you're coming up 14, there's actually a 5-way tie for first, and your birdie on 14 popped you in front for the first time on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, what a comeback. 5 bogeys, and then you make that birdie on 14, you make the birdie on 17, and then of course we all know what happened on 18. I mean, what a way to finish a U.S. Open. It'll be talked about for a long time. Has that hit you and JJ yet, or are you guys still on cloud 9?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're still on
absolutely.
cloud 9, I think. Just like it's not, but yeah, that was crazy. Everything that, happened like on 15, he had a good lie in the rough on the left, so we were just laying it up, and it just shot right into the. Now it's like just hit a sand wedge out there. You know what I mean? Like we got the
Was there
backside.
any
But anyway,
discussion
so
on the
like
15th on that second shot of maybe trying to do a little more, hit a 5 iron or 6 iron and chase it onto the front?
well, we were going to, but no. So we just laid up like to have like a. So it wasn't. We weren't trying to like do anything special there. Like because it was like a good lie, like where, you could. Anyways, but yeah, it just shot out to the right. But I'm walking up there and I see you like, and it's funny, it's like, because Smiley, like, he would give us like, like if it was a good lie, he'd be like, oh, like where, and then I see him run up there, and I'm like, and they're just like look at it, and they're like, whoa, and they like run, they like scurry away, and I'm like, you fucking serious, man? Like,
Yeah.
but so anyways, but it wasn't a
Oh, that's
great
too
like
good.
if it was a good lie, they'd be like, oh, you not give a thumbs up, but they're like, I can see their reactions, and they're like, and this one they're like, and they just scurry away, and I'm like, fuck, what? Anyways, so it was fun. We only have like 70 yards or
Yeah.
whatever, like, and he obviously had a great shot and it was fine for that pin,
Yeah,
but
it
yeah.
was down. I mean, when it landed, I started running because there was no
And
volunteers.
the funny thing is, he's like, they're like looking like they can't find it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my
Well,
gosh, like, so I was, but then
what US
yeah, you guys couldn't
what the
find it for an
USGA
hour.
did is they kept everybody back off of that rough, knowing people were going to be hitting into that. So there were no volunteers within 50, maybe 75 yards of where that ball went down. And I happened to eagle eye it and see it. And I'm a little concerned because Victor's playing out of the bunker, but I'm ripping down that right side, trying to find this ball for you guys so you don't have to go back and play again from behind the bunker, which would have totally wrecked your chances. So, yeah, I was a little urgent right there trying to find that ball, and I did. It wasn't great, and you're right. Sometimes we'll kind of turn around and maybe give you a little indicator like, yeah, everything's okay. But it was the 68th hole or the 69th hole of the US Open, and you guys needed to get up and down from that position to save par. So yeah, Smiley and I kind of kept our heads down. We didn't give you any indicator. And it's funny you say it like that because we were just like trying just to kind of clear the stage for you guys because we knew we didn't need to distract you. And it's funny that you guys are watching like they didn't give us anything. That's kind of funny now that you say it.
Yeah. No, it was, yeah, that was, and he hit a great shot
Well,
too.
we talk about all the
So
other holes. Let's talk about 16. I mean, that was only 244 yards of a par three, which Scotty knows. I love those par
Love the
threes.
long par three.
And you smoked, what was it, a 4-iron? Just short of the hole?
that was, that was as hard as he could, that was as good as he could hit a 4-iron, like flush, like we call this thing a 9-ball draw because he was drawing at the tower, and that's as hard as he could hit a
And you,
4-iron. And it was still, it was what,
and
20
how
feet
good was
short,
that putt that he hit
like
in there? I mean, golly, it had to look good from where you guys were standing.
it was funny because Larry Nelson, I watched this video of him winning in Oakmont, like I think it was the PGA or
Did you
whatever,
caddy for
but
Larry
he
Nelson when
birdied.
he won in 1980?
I probably could have, but so he had like this 60-footer there, and literally when JJ was putting, I was like,
Harry.
come on, Larry, Larry, like in my mind, I'm like, Larry, and he hit a great putt. But it was funny on the first tee today in the Pro Am, they're like, Larry Nelson is playing 2 groups ahead of you, and I was like, no way, like I want to be like Larry, hey, I want to be like.
16.
So
Mark,
it was pretty
you
funny.
talked about some of the cool text messages you've received and the congratulations. You mentioned folks like Tony Navarro from Caddy Greats. What's the coolest message you've got in the last couple of days about congrats, other than me and Drew congratulating you?
Did I text you
Not
back?
yet.
No, I'm being
Not yet.
serious.
Not yet. But buddy, it's
I
all
literally
good. Not
got
yet.
like I'm being serious because I literally got
Well,
like
it's okay.
900 texts.
It's
Like I
okay. I'm
don't know,
saying
not,
it's the
and
coolest message.
but I'm literally like me and my fiance are like I'm literally trying to like, and today was the greatest day of my life. Like where everybody like, and I'm like, and people are like, you didn't, and I'm like, I literally texted like. I still had 350 texts when I went to the course today.
That you
No,
are.
I'm being serious, like because it's the greatest thing ever. Like I love it so much, but it's so like because when you text and then people like it's like thank you. Like I want to be like
Yeah.
thanks Drew. Like thanks Scotty. Like I love you guys. Like you're freaking. Anyways, and then but then they text you back right away, and it's like ah, and then it's like and then it's like and
Yeah.
it's like this. But it's the greatest thing ever, and I love it so much. But I feel so
Buddy,
bad, like because I just want to like get through it and like text everybody back and tell them how thankful I am that they like
Buddy,
actually
you'll
texted
get
me.
through it,
So,
buddy.
but
I
but I can't wait to text you back. I can't believe, but that's we, anyways. But
well,
so
what's the coolest message
I love it.
that you got?
I mean, there's like a lot of players that have texted me, and there's like a lot of like old school caddies, like, and it just the I've gotten so many that I can't like I'm not gonna I can't
Uh,
it's like literally everyone that texted me, I think that that's the coolest text
hmm.
ever, just to because they say something so nice and I'm just like wow, thanks,
All
like
right. Well, I got a
so
text after you won because this person knows that we're friends and they know that I'm going to talk to you. Matt Achatz sends me a text, and Matt
Dude, I was gonna bring him up today because I actually
There you
called
go.
him today.
So
So,
Matt sends
anyways,
me a text
okay, go ahead.
and he says, "You know that I've thought Mark Carens is the greatest tour caddy for years, and now he has the major championship to prove it." So
Okay.
that's what Matt Achatz thinks. A guy who lost in the last guy to lose in a U.S. Open 18-hole playoff. That's what he said about your win on Sunday.
Okay, well, that guy has won with 3 different players, and that guy. So a caddy, I always consider, or I don't. It's when I consider Madak as one of the greatest caddies ever. He's won with 3 different players, and I've caddied with him so many times. He reads their putt. He does everything. Like if somebody was like, who would you, who are the top 5 caddies? I'd be like, I don't know. This guy is literally, he's
Yeah.
he's like one of the
Well,
best
that's what
caddies
he
ever.
thinks about.
And I'm not saying that because I love the guy. First of all, I'm just saying because he is such a great caddy, and so when you win with 3 different players, like that just brings you. You know what I mean? Like if you're caddying for some guy that always plays good and stuff, like. But when you bring 3 guys, like hey Matt, you're one of the best caddies ever, and I always tell him that, and I think it's funny because he says the same thing, but that's
So, do
a
you
true
think
story.
helping
So
see?
Matt is one of the best caddies out here for
So
sure,
if I just gave you
100%.
a silhouette of a caddy and I said this guy's helped Siwoo Kim win the Players and JJ Spawn win the U.S. Open, what do you think of that caddy? What would you say? One of the greatest of all time? Okay, because I think
Oh,
No,
he is, and that's Mark
I think he is.
Cairns, who's made time for us
not
on
at
a
all.
Wednesday night. It's starting to get late, so we're gonna have some final thoughts from you before we let you go. Final thoughts. Just tell us what it was like going through all of this and what you expect moving forward.
Um, it was the greatest, greatest week of my life. It was the funnest tournament. Which is pretty funny saying it was the funnest tournament because it's so scary and it's like you're so nervous and it's like, but so looking back, yeah. But I also I stayed with Mark Miller, who lives like 2 minutes from the golf course. He caddied for JJ Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Um, he he's the caddy for Jeff Maggart. He's been a caddy out there for a long time. He actually wants to come caddy again, so he's obviously gonna get a bag. But so he literally, like, we went out to dinner every night. He drove me around so I could have a couple of these, and so everything worked out so well. And it was the greatest. It was the For 24 years, it was the greatest week of my life. So it was awesome.
Scotty, final thoughts from you talking to the champ. From
I
one
just
champ to another.
I just looked at
Hey, champ,
I just,
you're the champ, man. You won
yeah,
before I
thank
did,
you.
so
I looked
sorry.
at my
Anyways, go
phone.
ahead.
I sent you a
Yes.
text message on March 18th after the Players and told you how much I loved and how much I was rooting for you and how much I thought you were awesome down the stretch, because Drew knows one of the things I try to do when I watch golf is watch the caddies because I always want to get better. And then the next message is a congratulations from April 27th when you texted me congratulations. And I think that speaks to not just the caddy you are, but the person you are. And it's one of those things that I know that I'll always remember in my life that you texted me and what that means to me to watch you. And so I just want to say thank you, and to watch you succeed on Sunday and to get that flag and be a major champion. I couldn't be happier for you.
Love you, bro.
Mark, you know how I
Thank
feel
you.
about you. We've been friends for a long time, and you are probably tied with Ted Scott for the favorite caddy of everybody else in my house. So that says a lot about both of you guys.
For
Come
real?
on.
This
And
guy's serious?
so you guys get to fight it out tomorrow. Whoever wins tomorrow, that's the guy who wins favorite caddy in my house. That'll be the race tomorrow. But no, seriously, congratulations, man. You've as somebody said recently, you've done the hard yards and now you're doing a victory lap and you deserve it. You did a heck of a job. Congratulations, brother. What I saw and what I witnessed was awesome, major championship caddying. And I look to
Scotty.
emulate you, even if it means it looks like I'm mumbling to myself. I want to be like you one day.
We all want to be like you.
No, I
You
want to
don't.
be like Scotty, man. Freaking, he's the man. Dang, bro.
All right,
Let's
everybody. Thanks
go.
for
Love you,
listening
bro.
to
Great
us.
seeing you, buddy.
Everybody,
All right.
thanks for
Love you
listening
guys.
to us on
Love you
YouTube,
guys.
on Spotify, coming to us on my side of the bag, and also the Back Nine Brief. Thank you all for joining us. Keep giving us a like, keep listening to us, and we'll keep giving you a view of the world of golf from my side of the bag.
Birdie Brand's all-natural bug deterrent is the best in the game of golf. It keeps the bugs away while giving you a bit of focus for those tight moments as the match comes to a close. Tour-tested, tour-approved, the 1-ounce bottle fits in any golf bag or travel case. When the match is on the line and your focus and comfort are things you don't want to be thinking about out there on the course, use Birdie Brands to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Birdie Brands, game on, bugs gone. Get yours at birdiebrands.com today.